works, Phil.
Yeah,
We're both here. And
we
I've
are.
just noticed we've already got two people, one of which is my mum. I just knew it. Oh, Steve Lloyd's here, bless him.
Wow.
Can you see who's joining as well?
With my eyesight, we're better, yeah.
Oh, flipping heck. Oh, cool. We're getting a few joiners. It says 6. That's good, isn't it? That's 8 with us. We are super popular.
We'll
You
have
can't
to-
do your hair now. You're on screen.
I can't do it anyway, it's going.
Cool. Oh,
Proper
look. This is
bedhead is that. Chuffing hell.
Well, this is cool. Hi, Joan. Oh, this is cool. We've got people here. So, yeah. Well, we have got lots of questions in the sidelines, haven't we? But we'll wait and see. I wonder if who's going to be the first to ask us something? That is the question.
I'm
This is
just
very
waiting
exciting, isn't it?
for Josh to join. And he'll
Oh,
probably...
someone said, hi, Phil. How's it going? Triple IDM 20. Do you know who that is?
I'm going well. How are you?
Oh, hi, Kathy. This is the first time we've done this, so we're novices. We'll have to see how it goes. I have to say, I'm looking quite tan. That fake tan last night obviously worked, but then So yeah, let's see if we get a question, and if not, we'll fire in with some of the stuff we've got in our ready for us. I've got my laptop here with a few things. I know you've got a few. In fact, you've got a question, Phil, from an actual follower, haven't you? You've got one from
Diana.
Right, we've got a question from Steve. When are you going full baldy? It's not health and fitness.
As soon as I can get my hands on some clippers, Steve. I've asked you to lend me some, but you've not been particularly forthcoming with it, yeah. You've got the professional expertise. You've been bald for how long? 30 years? 40?
Yeah, this is the thing. He's got you. He's living the life. He's going okay on a break at the moment. Steve said he'll do your hair for you.
No, I've seen his hair. There's not enough of it left. I don't trust him.
Okay. Joe's got a question. Any ideas how to start running when you're not allowed out of the garden? Oh, because, yeah, Joan's not allowed out with her being at that vulnerable age. She's not allowed to leave. Phil, you're getting into the running recently, so...
I'd say that's quite a tough one. I would just focus on doing bodyweight exercises that especially target your legs, just to maintain some sort of condition and endurance in them. I mean, that's all. You can do things like shuttles in the garden, but generally squats, lunges, jump squats, jump lunges, any variations of those sort of movements. That's what I do. Just work on your overall fitness, because it just means it'll be easier to get back into some semblance of running at a decent level, rather than just starting from afresh without having done out for ages.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do to get your cardio fitness up, not having to leave the garden, like you say. In fact, we've got a video ready to put up, haven't we, of you doing something exactly that. Lots of jump squats, lots of jump lunges. There's loads of stuff you can do on the spot. Kathy has just asked, what does a perfect week look like in terms of a mix of strength and cardio? Well, I mean, that depends on your goal, I would say, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I don't think there's such a thing as a perfect week.
It's like the perfect diet, doesn't exist.
Yeah. It's where the perfect week is whatever balance you can strike between the two, so that you still enjoy your workouts as well.
And you can be consistent with it, yeah. If you set yourself up this timetable of, right, I'm going to do running on a Monday, I'm going to do weight training on a Tuesday, and something every day, and you can't stick to it, well, that was a pointless plan in the first place, wasn't it?
When's your day off?
Who? Kathy's?
Well, no, that's it. If you plan to do something every single day, when's your day off? When do you recover? You
don't, exactly, and that's obviously important. So, and flexibility, she said, yeah, in terms of, it is very much goal dependent, isn't it? If your goal is to be faster at running, then naturally your mix of strength and cardio has to be more towards the running. If you want to be strong, if you want to do body composition, then naturally it's going to have to swing towards weight training and such alike, isn't it?
Yeah. But I always say to people, if you want to get better at something, you're best off prioritising that. If you want to get better at running, you're always going to be better off prioritising your running over anything else, like any sort of strength training or other exercise you do is just going to act as an accessory to that. It's going to supplement your running. If you want to get better at something, do it more, basically.
Yeah. And then she's saying about flexibility. Now, if injury and tightness in joints is going to stop you running, then naturally that just means you're going to have to prioritise your flexibility work as well. So it's so personal, isn't it?
Yeah, flexibility is a big one. I think, do you think how long you spend training over the course of the week? Let's say you train 4 times. Each time you might train for an hour upwards, maybe an hour and a half. Obviously, it depends on the person. And then you only stretch for maybe 5 minutes at the end. It's just not enough.
No, not at all.
Like, you're spending 4 hours a week training and 5 minutes stretching, or 5 minutes working on your mobility and your flexibility. It needs to be more.
Yeah.
I'd spend like a good 10, 15 minutes, or at the end of sessions, or just have one day a week that's dedicated to it, where you spend like 45 minutes stretching.
Yeah, and I know Kathy, who asked the question, specifically struggles with injuries and joint issues, so even more so in that case, you would want to prioritise that, else your running career is going to be very short.
Yeah. Well, you just don't enjoy it, do you? Because you've got niggles and injuries, and it just makes it an unpleasant experience.
Yeah. Yes, you experienced that. So talking about running, Alice has asked, can you run fueled by Prosecco? I wouldn't expect any less.
I would know. I don't drink Prosecco. You'll have to answer that one, Mel.
To be fair, I don't. My drink of choice is Captain Morgan's Spice and Coke, so I don't know about Prosecco. I can't imagine if that was your drinking your water bottle on the way around, it would be a very successful run.
I don't think you'll run in a particularly straight line. I think you might zigzag and veer off left and right, so your 5K could quite quickly become a 10K.
Yeah, you wouldn't feel the pain so much, that's the end, but then you might feel it the next day. Yeah, I once remember doing a yoga class after a few drinks, and I thought I was the most flexible person in the world, and the next day the most pain I've ever been in. So yeah, that's my experience of drinking and exercise.
Apparently gin's better fuel than Prosecco.
Oh, what is that on calorie value, do you think?
I'm not sure.
No.
I think you'll have to test that out. You'll have to go for a run, Mel. You have to have a bottle of Prosecco for the first one, give it a few days.
And then video it.
Yeah, and then have an equal amount of gin in terms of alcohol and do the same and see how you get on.
Yeah, well, let's give it a try. It's something you might get a few viewers in. But yeah, that's a good one. So we actually, did you have a question from Beata somewhere in the background?
Yeah, so Beata wanted to know to do with like protein requirements as you age. Do you need less protein or?
Right. Yeah, I would say, I mean, personally, I would say it wouldn't probably change as much. And again, it's obviously dependent on your goal, isn't it? A lot of it's dependent on your goal. But I'd say as you get older, probably more important.
I think it's equally as important.
Yeah.
Like you say, I don't think it'll change. I think protein requirements generally will change in relation to the amount of muscle mass you've got. And the easiest way to judge that is obviously through your body weight, along with other measurements. I always say to clients to stick to around a gram per pound of body weight.
Yeah, that's an easy one to remember.
Pretty good rule of thumb. If you're dieting to lose body fat, maybe increase it to 1.25 grams per pound.
So if you're like, for example, you're a 10 stone woman, just for example, you're 140 pounds, so you want to be hitting 140 grams a day. Now, that might not sound a lot, but actually for some people, that takes some doing.
Yeah, it's not the easiest in the world, because you think of it like your normal diet, like your traditional diet over here is something like cereal for breakfast, maybe a sandwich or some sort of pasta salad for lunch, and then your meat and veg for tea or lasagna or whatever else. And like you're only really getting protein there in one, maybe 2 meals. So it's, for most people, it's quite a big ask, a big change.
It is a big ask. And then they think, well, I'll add an egg into breakfast and that should get me, and that's like, what, another 5 to 7 grams. And it takes some doing. It takes some doing. It takes a bit of focus. So for a lot of people who are coming from a really baseline amount of protein, it's a case of just building it up really slowly, isn't it? Because to throw them into 140 grams when they're probably only having about 40 is a big ask. So I think you've just got to baby steps with that one and start introducing a little bit of protein into every meal, or maybe into your snacks or something like that.
Just take it one meal at a time. Look at the one meal that you eat the least protein with. Try and just for, say, 7 days, get more protein with that one meal, because then you've built, generally within 7 to 14 days, you've built a habit.
Yeah.
So You get used to that. Look to your next meal, do the same, and then, like you say, look at your snacks. Maybe put a protein shake in there.
Yeah. Yeah. On that note, a lot of people do ask, don't they, is it all right to be having protein shakes to get my protein levels up? And we'd always say, well, yeah, it's always going to, proper food is always going to trump drinking protein shakes for every meal, isn't it? But if you are struggling to get your protein values up, then yeah, adding in protein shakes, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. As a supplement, it's always to be seen as a supplement rather than an actual meal replacement. But yeah, protein shakes are always good to get that number up. Oh, we have another question. I love the recipes. As things get slowly back to normality, maybe some more lunch ideas. Any plans? Oh, that's my mum.
Any excuse to get that apron out?
Yeah, that is one thing. What happened to the apron, Phil? Because it hasn't been.
I don't know where it is.
I
lost it. I must have it somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm trying to diet down, so I don't need the apron anymore.
You have the real six-pack out. I know you are looking very slim.
One day.
So any more lunch ideas? Well, we'll have to have a look. I'm sure we can come up with something for lunches.
We've got a whole host of recipes in that recipe book.
We've got absolutely tons. For a lot of people, for lunch, it's something that they can either eat cold at work, or that if they've got if they're lucky to have a microwave at work, they can heat up. You know, because a lot of people haven't got the aren't able to take a load of ingredients and cook up at work, obviously. So it needs to be something that can be either reheated or eaten cold for most people. So yeah, we'll definitely have a look into that.
I always find that with lunch, it's easiest just to make a bigger portion at dinner, usually. And
yes, that's exactly what I do.
Portion, I know you do that.
Yeah.
You must eat chili every night, you.
Yeah. No, don't, because if Richard's, he's just joined. Don't say that. If he hears that we eat chili, you're right there. We do have chili a lot of nights.
You just get into habits like anything else. I think the biggest thing with cooking is people don't use enough things like herbs and spices when they cook. I would always just recommend that people experiment with different spices. You know, a bit of oil, maybe a teaspoon of your favourite spice, coat that on your chicken, grill it. It just gives it a little bit, adds a bit of difference to it. Don't just have to be bland.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, we've got a question in. Here we go. What do you think to BCAA is helpful with workout or waste some money? Waste of money?
I would say 90% of the time it's a waste of money.
Yeah, completely.
I only really think that BCAAs are much use if you're training fasted. That's the only time I'd use them.
Yeah, I think so. I think if you can eat a proper diet and hit those protein goals, you don't need to be wasting your money on BCAAs. It is just literally, it's a drink with amino acids in, which is basically what protein breaks down to. So you're just drinking a protein drink effectively, but it's already broken down for you. So yeah, it's easily available and easy to digest. But if you're eating a proper diet, you don't need it.
The thing about BCAAs is, like, normally most servings of them are only about 5 grams. So it's 5 grams of protein effectively, which is a lot. You're better off just
eating.
Eating. If you can eat before training, that's better. If you can't eat before training, just maybe have a quick protein shake with a bit of fruit or something. That's what just for eating. Otherwise, like you say, you're just wasting money. You're just spending money that you don't. You could take that money and be better spent on getting some better quality food.
Yeah. So Ralim Ross says, I've tried dairy-free options which taste exactly the same as regular dairy options. What was that referring to? Protein shakes? I'm not sure, but yeah, fair enough. If you are lactose intolerant, I suppose that's a good way to go. The dairy-free options. I'm not sure what that was referring to, but so Annabelle said, what's the best way to avoid stress fractures in feet? I assume that's running, is it, or just generally stress fractures in feet? It's not something I've ever had to deal with. You, Phil?
No, I've never been unfortunate enough to
have a stress fracture.
I don't know about that one.
No, I don't know. I mean, that's a thing for a physio, maybe, or a doctor, because obviously we're not qualified in like fractures and stuff like that. But I mean, anything that you're going to I would say anything where you're building strength up in your joints is going to avoid something like that. So if you build strength up through weight training in any of your joints, hopefully that's a way of avoiding fractures and any sort of stress on joints.
Yeah, that's true. Like it's been proven that like training with weights will increase your bone mineral density, which obviously means that your bones are stronger. Maybe potentially looking to increase in your calcium intake.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. But I think the main one is if you're suffering with a sports related injury, the main thing is to go see a professional about it. Go see a physio, go book in with a private sports physio, because they'll have more experience of having dealt with issues like that before, and they can advise you accordingly based on their expertise.
Yeah, it's a little bit out of our lane, that one, but yeah, definitely anything with running, I think is definitely good to supplement some strength training in, just to give your legs a fighting chance of dealing with that stuff. 'Cause it's quite high impact running, isn't it? It takes a lot out of your legs. So keeping the strength training and keeping the mobility work up is definitely important. Oh, Melissa's here. That's my sister. We've got a few joiners now. 12 people. We are popular. So I don't know. Super popular. There's no other questions there, but there was one question that I do get asked a lot, and I had it on my list. It was, are nuts healthy? Now, this is a good one, because a lot of people fall foul of this when they start dieting, don't they? They have this thing, nuts are healthy, so they're piling in the peanut butter and the handfuls of nuts for lunch, and don't realise that, yes, they may be healthy, but the calorie content is way up there. So it's something just to be careful about. I'm not saying they're not healthy, but you can really push yourself into a calorie surplus by eating nuts to excess.
Yeah. They contain a lot of fat. They're generally mainly fat. Obviously, fat contains 9 calories per gram. So it's quite easy. People can eat bags of nuts, and before you know it, that's 500 calories if you diet.
I think the great thing is if you are dieting, you think to introducing like nuts or sort of healthy fats like that, is just to use FitnessPal and log things and just have that education and realizing how many calories are in things like that.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing. They are good for you. They contain a lot of minerals. Okay, things like selenium, zinc. Just use them sporadically, really. I normally just add them to stuff just to give it a bit more of a different texture, as much as anything.
Yeah. Oh, they're definitely tasty. And things like that with high fat value keeps you fuller for longer. So it's always good for that. It's just being aware, isn't it? It's being aware. But have you got any other questions on your list, Phil?
Oh, I've got loads of questions on
mine. Oh, goodness me. Wow.
Oh, my camera's going all over the place.
Oh dear, yeah, we've just got your arm.
I know. I'll sort that out in a second.
It's all right.
So a lot of, just based on like a lot of the questions that I've been asked before, one of the ones is like, what's the best time to work out?
Yeah. The answer is there isn't one, is there? So what's best for you?
Yeah, I mean, generally, I remember when we did that stress and sleep seminar.
Yeah.
It was saying that you do tend to be stronger on an evening.
It did, yeah. It did, you're right.
But
again, it's what tends to fit in with your lifestyle, isn't it? If you're a person who trains better on the morning or trains better fasted, or can it fit into, how does it fit into your working life? Again, it's what you can make consistent, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. If you can't train on an evening, or you don't enjoy training on an evening, there's no point. Likewise, on the morning, if you wake up on the morning and you feel like death warmed up, like save it till the evening. Just go whichever day fits best with your schedule and what you enjoy, really.
Yeah, and if you have the luxury of being able to train at either end of the day or in the middle of the day, I would just say try both and see what makes you feel better.
I tend to find that for myself, I train a bit better when I've had some food.
Yeah, me too. I'm not good at that fasted thing.
No.
Not at all. No, I know a lot of people think the fasted cardio was the answer to everything, but no, it's not the answer to everything for everybody, is it?
No, absolutely not.
No. So yeah, the timing, I think that it's a lot of things, it's personal choice, isn't it? So I had another, have we got any questions there now? How much rest should we take between workouts? That was another question I think you had as well, didn't you? In terms of rest days. And again, it sounds really boring, we're saying it again, but it's a personal thing, isn't it? What does your body need? If you start to see your workouts deteriorating or you're not getting the results you used to get, then maybe that's a sign you're not resting enough.
I think it all depends on like the type of training that you do as well.
Yeah, so, how intense it is.
Yeah, so like some people, obviously there's a lot of people that follow like body part splits. If you're doing body part splits, you can probably, depending upon the split, you can probably train every day for 5 days.
Yeah, definitely, because you're giving body parts a rest.
Yeah, if you're doing full body, like you train everything in one day, then I would take the next day as a rest day.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
And to have on an every other day sort of basis, just so your body can recover. It's been shown that obviously like protein synthesis, so the rate at which your body utilizes protein is elevated after a workout and stays elevated for 24 hours or 48 hours. So really, if you've trained, you don't really want to train that body part again for a day. Sometimes I push it to 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah, true. And I suppose, again, that fits into how often people ask, how often should we train in a week? Well, that's, again, how much time have you got to train? If you only have 3 days a week to train, maybe it's worth putting a full body workout on each session. And if I've got 6 days I can train more, then maybe you want to split to an upper and lower, or push-pull legs, or a body part split. So, again, that sort of ties into that in terms of rest days. What do you have available to you?
Yeah, I mean, I always think, like, for me personally, you should try and have more training days than you necessarily do rest days. But, you know, I'd say as a minimum, really, you want to be going for 3. I think everyone can fit in 3 training sessions a week.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have to be at the gym. It can be at home. As we've proved now, I think a lot of people have proved they don't. I hate to say it, we don't need gyms. We can actually carry on a training schedule from our homes or from the park.
I think it's forced a lot of people to think about like what they're not good at. Do you know what I mean? They've had to focus on things. Like loads of people I know have been focusing on like working on the mobility, taking this time to work on their weaknesses. Maybe your fitness isn't the strongest point.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes, we've got another one. It's Melissa. I'd like to ask about filling low-fat snacks. What do you recommend for those hungry periods mid-morning and mid-afternoon? Now, I suppose that does tie into what we were saying about things like nuts. If you want something filling, again, you've got to be careful with the calories if you're on a calorie-controlled diet. But things like nuts and stuff that's got a higher fat content is going to be a lot more filling than, say, you know, a little bowl of cereal. It's just going to keep you fuller longer. Or something with a bit more fibre in.
Yeah, I wouldn't concern myself with having something necessarily that's low fat. I think it's, if you're looking to obviously not put weight on, you're more looking at something that's, you know, staying under your daily calories, basically.
Yeah.
I always find that like yogurt, like I prefer low fat yogurt, not because of the fat content, but because it tends to be a lot higher in protein, which is feeling fuller for a bit longer. So I'm a bit of a bugger for eating like skyr, fat-free yogurt. Or some, if you're just after something quick, maybe some tin of tuna with a bit of salad.
Yeah.
Works well.
That's a good one. Tin of tuna, you could always, if you have got room in your fats, get a bit of avocado in there or something like that. But, or, you know, protein shakes are the ultimate inconvenience, aren't they, in terms of getting your protein in?
Or protein bars.
Yeah.
Protein bars. There's so many tasty protein bars.
There
most
is.
of them are about 250 calories, which, you know, for most people for a snack, it's a high, I suppose, but it's not bad.
Yeah, you've just got to be careful not to be fooled by the fact that it's, again, a healthy thing, because you can easily go over your calories and protein bars. Just as long as you're tracking it, then it's a great way to fill yourself up at a snack time.
They are expensive as well. Like,
they are.
Other things. It's like £2.50 in most supermarkets for a grenade bar, which is steep.
It's a scam. I wonder why they are so much.
I don't know. Chocolate bars are about 60p.
Yeah. Doesn't really make sense, does it? But that's the options in terms of snacks, is finding something. But like you said, the yogurt one's a great idea, an easy one. Yes, that's our ideas on snacks. Right, any more questions we've got in the back? Anybody asked? No. So I had something on here: should children lift weights? Now that's a little bit out of our lane, but I can't see why not. When we talk about children, I don't really know whether that means young child. I don't know if there is an age limit on this. I mean, in our particular gym, you're not allowed to be in until you're 16, but that's more a supervision type thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's more from a safety standpoint.
Say that again, sorry, Phil.
More from like a health and safety standpoint and stuff like that, isn't it?
So neither of us have got much experience in terms of training children, but I would say it's always a good idea to instill healthy sort of exercise regimes from a young age. Just instill it in people from a young age. That would be my answer to that. But to just go steady and not go too heavy and keep the session short. Yeah.
I mean, I think what people read about, like especially weight training in children, is that it affects like the growth plates and stuff and can stunt the growth. But if you look at it in terms of like, if you've got a child that's got any sort of potential in a sporting endeavour, it's better off to get them training in it as soon as possible. Are you telling me that, like, you've got an Olympic weightlifter who moves really well at 12 years old, that they're not having them work with some sort of resistance?
Mm.
They are, because you want them to get better. So I don't really see any reason as to, providing that it's under supervision and it's safe, that children can't lift weights
from a young age, as long as it is supervised and the sessions aren't too long, because I think they struggle more with body temperature regulation at a young age, don't they? So it's just keeping a check on that, really.
The other thing is just making sure it's fun as well for kids. That's the biggest thing, making sure it's enjoyable. If they want to lift weights and everything else, then let them keep it to like maybe 20-30 minutes, see if they enjoy it. If they don't, fair enough.
Fair enough, yeah, exactly. I know, well, can you make your own protein bars? Well, that's a good idea. We could maybe look into one of our videos, or maybe Phil, I don't know if you're, maybe a way of making our own protein bars or some sort.
I've done it before.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea for a recipe for one of our recipes coming up, is it?
Yeah, you can do. You can definitely make some like protein flapjacks or some protein bites.
Yeah, good idea.
Done. Yeah.
We'll put that on the list.
I think that should be one of his next videos.
I think definitely we put that down, because although I did my protein pancakes, I think having some, they're not really easy to reheat or have later. They're more of a eat it now type of thing. So I think something like that, if you could make flapjacks bars that you could take to work, that's a great idea. We'll put that on the list.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, definitely. So yeah, good one, good one. Right, any other questions, Phil? Have you got anything there that's a good one that we might be able to pull apart?
Yeah, bear with me. So one of the most common questions that I will get is, do I need to vary my workout to see results? Sorry about my arm.
Do I need to vary my workout to see results? Oh, it's going to be so tedious and say, well, what is the goal? What's the person's goal? That would be the first question I would ask everybody, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's all goal dependent. What do they want to achieve? I think a lot of it comes from, like, especially bodybuilding magazines, that you need to sort of shock your muscles and stuff to continue. Yeah. Which is a load of cod swallow. Yeah. To be honest. Yeah.
So there isn't a one size fits all. If you're wanting to get your body composition changed, if you're wanting to build some muscle, naturally, like we said earlier, you're going to have to swing your training into more weight training and lifting weights. If you want to be faster over a 5K, then naturally you're going to have to take your training that way and get some more running and interval work in. So
I think when you've got a program, you need to stick with it for a good 12 weeks to make sure you can see that there's any sort of benefits from it. If after 12 weeks, there's been no progress, then yeah, by all means, like, change your workout, try something else, see if that works better for you.
Yeah.
You just got to make sure that you're in control of every other variable as well, like nutrition, recovery, sleep. That's falls in with recovery, really.
Yeah, but it's so important. Sleep. People don't realise how important that is to progress. But yeah, you're right. You need to set a plan and stick to it. Like you say, 12 weeks, or stick to something. Don't just think after a week or so, oh, it's not working, let's move on to something else. I've changed my mind, I want to do this now. Try and stick with something and see how it actually plays out for you, rather than giving up at the first hurdle.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are guilty of that. I think we're all guilty of it sometimes. How about puddings for after dinner? That's our worst time of day. Well, it's the worst time for everybody. Everybody says it, don't they? After tea, you sit down, put the telly on, and then it's when it all starts to go wrong, isn't it?
Hold that wayside.
Yes. Phil, you did do that mousse, though. That was a good one. I don't know if you saw that, Melissa, but you did like a nice little dark chocolate mousse, which was quite low calorie.
Yeah, you just need some dark chocolate, about 3/4 of a bar, 2 egg whites, a teaspoon of sugar.
Was that about it? Yeah.
This yogurt, 4 tablespoons.
Yogurt, of course.
Fat-free yogurt as well.
Yeah, it's so easy. Just mix it all up.
Really easy, really easy. If you've got chocolate cravings, that'll satisfy them, because it is very, very chocolatey.
How many portions did you make out of that? Did you make 4?
Oh yeah, I think each one were about 160 calories.
Yeah. Now, how long did it take you to eat those 4? Be honest.
Next question, maybe.
Next question. Yes, but anyway, we will put, obviously, the video for that's on YouTube. If you haven't got it, have a look. We'll put the link up in somewhere if you need it. Yeah, Michelle said she made it Friday and used flavoured yogurt.
That's a bit different, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Good idea, that.
So yeah, there's loads of ways you can change it up, isn't there? So there, definitely. But we can definitely look into some more. I think that's where everyone struggles, isn't it, after tea?
Yeah.
On a night after tea and you're sitting, you suddenly got time to think about things and you're looking for some sort of distraction and you keep going to the fridge and nothing really changes. Banana ice cream is easy, quick and tasty if you remember to freeze the bananas. So basically freeze your bananas and then mash it up with something, I guess.
Yeah.
I've never done that. It sounds good though. I'll have to try it. Not from Cathay. So we'll have to have a look.
A lot of it with stuff like that. I know we go on about it, but it comes down to habit. That's a habit of sitting down, having a biscuit with a cup of tea on an evening. It's more so sort of about trying to break that habit. But at the end of the day, like, a lot of the time, that's not what's letting people down in terms of the diet. It's not one biscuit on an evening with a cup of tea.
It's not
3 or 4 biscuits or a big 200-gram bar of Cadbury's Dairy Milk or Cadbury's Caramel. That's what's... Everything in moderation is... generally, it's going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah, the moment you start restricting yourself and saying you can't have this and you can't have that is the moment you're going to want more of it. So as long as you can moderate, and we all know the rule of moderation, and if you can moderate it and allow yourself to have those bits of chocolate, you can have something like that every day. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a case of being able to stop, isn't it, and not go through the whole packet. And that's why tracking is coming, and Fitness Pal and other tracking methods coming so useful to allow yourself, oh yes, I've got 200 or 300 calories left. Let's treat myself to a bit of chocolate or something. There's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, just I think the moment you start restricting is when it all starts to go wrong.
The main problem is that, like, when you go to the supermarket, you can get like a 120-gram bar of chocolate for £1, or you can get like a 55-gram bar of chocolate for 60p. It's just it's not good value, is it?
No,
it's just not good value.
It's so true, and then it comes down to the money you spend, and you're not actually thinking anymore about, do I need the massive bar? You're thinking, oh, this is better value, but does it really matter? Yeah. I know we're all the same. We all do the same thing.
Yeah. If you've got something in the house, you're going to eat it, aren't you? If you've got a big bar of Dairy Milk, you're going to eat it.
Of course you are, yeah. It's going to be very difficult to resist. So Kathy's just put up that recipe because Melissa asked. So it's chopped bananas, freeze, let them defrost for 10 minutes and then whiz with a blender. I used to serve with a teaspoon of Nutella before I realised I can't trust myself to have Nutella in the house. Me neither, I get it. So yeah, it sounds really good. That's pretty. In terms of, I know bananas, they've got minerals in, they're good for you, but again, you've got to watch the calories. I mean, if you have too many, but I can't see with a frozen banana you're going to overindulge somehow.
Yeah, one frozen banana is going to be about 30 grams of carbs, isn't it?
It's not going to be much. Yeah, it sounds lovely though.
Yeah, it does sound that, especially with Nutella. He sold me at Nutella.
But like you say, buying a jar of Nutella and then not keeping going in there with a spoon is very difficult. It's very difficult. So yeah, questions. Have we got any more? What time are we on? We've just gone over half an hour, so maybe we could have a couple more questions and call it a draw. What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, a couple more questions. So if you've got any questions, get
them in quick.
Come on.
We'll be coming out in about maybe a few minutes. Right, what else have I got down here? Let's have a look. Oh, that classic question. Will weights make women bulky? Yes, we get this a lot, obviously, from when we do our consultations, talking to women. Oh, I don't want to lift weights because I'll just get too big. No, you really won't. There's women out there who are training their backsides off and for hours a day on weights and will not get too big. It will not happen. So don't worry about it. You're not going to turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger overnight. Get out there, lift weights. It's good for you.
I always say to women in that situation, go into a gym, have a look at all the women that are lifting weights and look at how they look. Do they look bulky or big or hefty or whatever you want to call it? All right.
No.
Generally, for your average female, training weights is one of the best things you can do. Okay. A big problem for women is obviously menopause. When you reach that age, and if you haven't achieved peak bone mineral density by that age, you're at risk of things like osteoporosis. What's a great way to increase your bone mineral density? Weight training.
Weight training, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Strengthens your muscles, strengthens your tendons, strengthens your ligaments, relieves stress on your joints because the supporting structures, which I've just mentioned, are a lot stronger. Great for complementing fat loss.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if hopefully I could bring in. I know Joan was watching, one of my old clients from Total Fitness. When Joan came to see me, she was told by her doctor she would never lift weights again. She would never use a rowing machine. She was unable to open a top window on a house. And then gradually, we started including weight training. And honestly, the changes were unbelievable. So sometimes you have to be a little bit wary of what doctors tell you. I'm not saying they're always wrong, but sometimes they're not specialists in lifting weights and in body composition. So just be a little bit wary, because some of the stuff Joan was told by a doctor was completely untrue. We started lifting weights and she had frozen shoulders, and we managed to pretty much remedy the whole thing. So it's just fabulous to see that when someone's a little bit older, over 70, start lifting weights and seeing results like that. It's great. So yeah, don't exclude weight training from your regime, whatever age you are. So what have we got? Oh, I have 15 minutes per day and want to lose weight and belly fat. What would be your top tip apart from diet? I like how she got that in, because she knows we're going to say diet. So 15 minutes a day.
If you've got 15 minutes a day, I would try and get a workout at the minute that is obviously body weight and resistance based, and just hammer it for 15 minutes so you burn the maximum amount of calories as possible. Yeah. Let's say pick 5 exercises, okay, some sort of push, some sort of pull, some sort of hip hinge, some sort of squat motion, and then maybe something for your abdominals, your core.
Yeah.
Pick a rep range for each of them, so say 10, and then just do as many cycles in that 15 minutes as you can, and then look to make it progressively more challenging each week or each time that you do it. So let's say the first time you do it, you only get through 3 full rounds. Okay, next time maybe try for 3.5 rounds, and then build up to 4 rounds, and just so you are, you know your performance is improving. Then maybe then you can look to increase the reps, so you can go from doing 10s to 12s to 15s to 20s.
So if you want an example of the exercises that Phil's talking about, we did put a body weight one on, but we're about to put more of a HIIT training one on, which is just about to go up. So watch out for that. It shows you the sort of exercises that Phil's talking about. It's not going to be pleasant. It's not going to be pretty. You're going to sweat, and there's a lot of sort of it's going to be hard work for 15 minutes. But if that's the time you've got, then I think you need to go all out if that's the time you've got available to you. Yeah,
the workout that I did the other day that Mel's going to put up in the coming days, it took me 6 minutes to get through 1 round of it.
I mean, you were knackered, but it worked.
So you could potentially, if you've only got 15, I mean, if you can push it to 20 minutes, you could theoretically get through 3 rounds of that.
Yeah, that would be a killer.
And it'd be absolutely awful. Ruinous.
In fact, you picked the hottest day of the year so far for that one, didn't you?
Yeah, it was
lovely.
Stupid, but decided to. I've got horrific hay fever. Decided to do it outside, absolutely roasting. Hay fever causing me nose to just absolutely stream.
Oh, bless you. Yeah, but that's what, if you've got 15 minutes, unfortunately, it isn't going to be pretty. You're just going to have to go all out. And like Phil says, pick a variety of exercises that are hitting each body part in some way, so you're getting everything covered. Yeah. And go for it. But good one. Well, there we go. Any other questions last minute before we fire off and go get our din-dins? No. It's been good. Quite enjoyed doing it. Well, hopefully we've helped somebody out there with one of our little tips. But it'd be good if we could do these quite regularly.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea to do maybe once a month or something like that.
Something like that would be good for me. Build up some questions and come on and ask them. Be good. But if there's no more questions, then we'll. And if you've got nothing else to add, Phil, then we'll call it. Oh. Typically, Beata's just come on.
Happy birthday,
we've just answered a question. Sorry, Beata. We were just about to call it a day. We answered your question though, so hopefully, if this video saves, we'll be able to either load it on YouTube or I'm not sure with Instagram Lives whether you can go back and watch it. I'm not sure about. I know with Facebook you can go back and watch it, I'm not sure about with this, but
well, we could save it and turn it into like an IGTV, so
yes,
that people to access.
That's what I'll do. If it's not, if it doesn't automatically go onto here, I'll put it up. So, yeah. So you'll be able to see the answer to your question. We definitely said it. Yeah, but thank you guys. Thank you all for coming on. I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time. Watch out for Phil's video where he sweated in a field.
Yeah, I've literally, like, I think I'd die pretty much.
I think you can watch lives for 24 hours. Oh, okay. So you can go back and watch them for the next 24 hours. Okay. Right. Thank you, guys. Always giving us thumbs up. See you later.
See you later.
Bye.